Austin, I will see y'all this weekend, September 2nd and 3rd. Get your tickets to those shows at ryansickler.com. Vancouver, I'll be up there September 15th through the 17th. And Edmonton, I'll be there at the end of the month, September 29th through October 1st. Get your tickets to those shows and all shows on my website at ryansickler.com.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I am Ryan Sickler, ryansickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching the show. Listen, if you are watching, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It's a free way to help the show. You're already there watching it anyway. I can see how you're doing it. Thank you very much. Hit that subscribe. Help the show out. Set your little reminder, and boom, it comes up in your feed. It's that easy, all right? If you got to have more HoneyDew, then you got to check out the Patreon. It's called the HoneyDew with y'all, where I highlight the lowlights with y'all, and nobody can touch your stories, all right? It's the craziest shit you've ever heard. I promise you, we're well over 100 episodes in now, and it's $5 a month. That's it. If you sign up for a year, you get over a month free, and you're getting the HoneyDew a day early, ad-free, at no additional cost, all right? If you or someone you know has that story that has to be heard, please submit it to honeydewpodcast@gmail.com, all right? Now, tour dates, August. Going to be in La Jolla, August 5th through the 7th. I'm going to be in Philadelphia, August 18th through the 20th. And I will be in Austin, actually, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd and 3rd. Get your tickets to the Night Pant Nation Tour on my website at ryansickler.com. Now, you guys know what we do over here. I always say we're highlighting the lowlights, and these are the stories behind the storytellers. Today, I'm very excited to have this guest on. First time here on the HoneyDew. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steph Tolev. Welcome to the HoneyDew, Steph.
Thank you. Big applause.
Thank you for being here.
Single applause. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Before we get into everything, please plug it all right now.
Away.
Do it.
I will be in Toronto August 25th. Okay, no, wait. I'll be, I don't know. I will be in Toronto opening up for Bill Burr.
Yeah.
At the Scotiabank Arena. It's the biggest arena I've ever done in my life. I feel crazy. August 23rd, 24th. And then August 25th, I'll be doing a doubleheader in Toronto. So if you're in Toronto, come to those. And then I can't remember the other ones. I think it's just add me on Instagram, Steph Tolev. And then you'll see my tour dates. And that's that. It's all there. Yeah.
All right. And your podcasts?
And my podcast, I have two podcasts. I have one that I do on my own called Steph Infection, and it's all about gross body ailments. So if you got to do it, I'm sure you got some weird fucking body shit.
I'll have to think about it. I've been lucky.
You son of a bitch.
I've been lucky.
Fuck you. Don't come on my damn
I've been lucky.
podcast.
I have.
It's people who've had like horrible ailments and weird fluke accidents and stuff like that. And then I have another podcast with Jessica Michelle Singleton and Laura Bites called Slobs. And both of them are very different. So listen to both if you like podcasts. I mean, same, like and listen,
Well, also you have a special out on Epics. You had an hour special, which is where I first met you. I probably didn't meet you there, but it's where I really got to know you because I got to sit and interview you for an hour.
I feel like it's going to be a very similar interview.
It's going to be a very similar
It's going to be a very similar but it's a lot of that had to be cut out of the interview, so we can really dive into it. Yeah, I did half hour. Don't get carried away.
You did? I thought you did an hour.
No, I was 30. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's right. The second season was hours.
Like,
sorry.
Push it here.
My bad.
Half an hour. And yeah, I just did that Bill Burr Presents Friends Who Kill on Netflix. So you can see me on there.
Yeah, you're doing great right now.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's going well. I'm happy.
So let's go back to a time when it wasn't so great. Can we do that? First of all, where are you from originally? You're Toronto?
Toronto, Ontario, Canada, yes.
So you're Canadian.
I'm
and
Canuck.
You're now here living full-time and have been full-time. When did you get to the States?
7 years ago.
Okay.
So I was in Toronto the whole time. I started comedy when I was 18 years old. And I've been doing it the whole time. Long time. That's when people, when like this Netflix came up, some people were commenting, wow, she's new. I'm like, nah, bitch, I'm old as hell. I'm Botox is helping. I'm old as shit. But yeah, I started in Toronto and then moving out here is a nightmare. And then getting
But you came here for comedy. I came
here for comedy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go back to Toronto. What's it like? What was growing up? Do you have sisters, brothers? What was your family life like?
I have my family life is very insane. I'm Bulgarian. I don't know if you know. Not a lot of people know about Bulgarians, very angry people. So my dad's Bulgarian, my mom's like a regular Canadian gal, and my mom, and I have one sister, and my mom is a Highland dancing teacher and started doing that when she was 20 years old. So those who don't know Highland dancing, it's like Scotland, like bagpipes, kilts, you know, the whole fucking caber toss.
Yes,
that's the one. Okay.
It is.
So my mom was a teacher, so I was forced into it when I was 3 years old. So I
3
years old. There's there's videos of it. If no one believes me, I have fucking video footage of me 3 years fucking old. I used to, like, my mom was so obsessed with me becoming like a champion. When I was in like 5th grade, I used to have to come home at recess and practice because I was like really good when I was 9 years old.
She wanted you to be like the Tiger Woods of this shit?
Oh yeah. And because she's the teacher, she wanted her daughter to be like...
Yeah, you can't be a failure.
I was shit. I was dog shit. I had like huge feet. I had my dad's back. I'm like, why am I fucking... No, it was a nightmare. I was not a dancer. Look at my body. This is not a dancer's body. Like, it was a nightmare. But it was like my whole life.
I've never heard that in my goddamn life. If you don't say that shit on stage, you better. I got my dad's back.
I have my dad's whole fucking body. It's a nightmare. Yeah, so it was like my whole life was literally dancing. Like
beginning at 3, but driving it like that.
Yeah.
If you got 15 minutes, your ass better be dancing.
Yep. So I would practice. Wow. My mom taught
your
4 nights a week.
As well?
Both of us. So we'd go right from school. I'd wait for her after school. I'd walk her up to the dance studio. It was in the church. So we'd go there 4 nights a week. Every weekend there was a competition. So every weekend at fucking 6 a.m. I'm getting up, fucking getting ready.
This is your sports.
This is my life. This is my sports. And it's like, you know, it's fun if it is. And also my parents would run the competitions. So I'd have to help. Like as a kid, I had to help do like lining up the kids and doing like the fucking registration and shit. Like it was a nightmare. So when I got into like high school, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm out drinking with my friends till like 2 a.m. And now I'm like,
you did this all the way into high school?
All the way till I was 18 years old.
18?
18.
No.
Yes.
You're a junior in high school out there doing this shit?
Yeah. No, I did this for a long fucking time. Right, and I was bad for a lot of it. I was only good when I was 9. So picture peaking at 9 and then being dragged out for fucking years. Dragged. Like it was a nightmare. And we traveled. The only thing that was good was that we traveled a lot. So every year we go to Scotland and like compete out there because it's like a big world championships out there.
If you're not doing well in the States, I got to imagine you're probably, no offense, you're getting your ass handed to you in Scotland.
Oh, I wouldn't even place. I was dog shit.
In the motherland.
Oh, I was literally dog shit. And like
danced your ass right off that stage.
Oh no. I was like, the worst thing was too, my mom has a student who's like, I think to this day still holds the Guinness Book records for the most consecutive world championships won in a row. So this is in Scotland. There's like a big World Series every year. So I think she won 11 years straight. And then there's me, big-footed clodhopper, fucking clown shoes up there. Like me and my sister both I'm not saying we're big girls, but we're not tiny girls. So we were like clowning around up there. Like we both were good when we were kids, and then we should have stopped. We should have stopped as soon as we got to high school.
But also you didn't have your heart into it. It's hard to be up there doing some shit like that when you don't want to.
No, we were really, really shit. And then
when did you get the courage to finally tell your mom, like, look, I'm fucking enough of this shit?
I think
when you became a legal adult.
Yeah, when I could legally like fucking vote in Canada. Literally, it was bad.
Wow, that's crazy.
No, it was, and we had no way out, and because we had to help the competitions, it was so fucking bad. Yeah.
How did she?
Well,
18. How did
this
she
is the problem. She's not good. So she wanted me to teach.
I know I'm interrupting. Both of you were like fucking, or just you?
Both of us were bad. Both of us liked drugs and alcohol in high school, so we didn't want to do it anymore. And we both really got into sports. So me and my sister both played lacrosse in high school. We were both in the track team. We were like super into sports. And my dad would like train us to run because my dad used to be a cross country runner, so he'd help us train to run. So like we were better at sports. We should have done that, but we fucking didn't. It was bad. It was bad. But then my mom wanted me to take over the dancing school. So I taught for her a little bit in high school. So I had like 4 or 5 students that I would teach. They'd come to my parents' house. Like the basement was like redone with like mirrors and like a little stage and stuff. Did I want to do that? No, I hated it.
Out of the house, this is happening.
Yeah, so I would teach her the students my mom didn't want to teach.
Out of your house.
Yeah, the younger ones. Well, she taught in the studio, and I got the little idiots that wouldn't listen. And I had no point did I ever have papers to teach. I was not qualified to do this. And then for a year, I played the bagpipes. Because
you did not.
I did, because my mom wanted me to play them at the competitions, because there's a live bagpipe.
Can you play the bagpipes right now? You really couldn't?
No. So you start on a chanter. So in like high school, I started becoming obsessed, thinking every man was a pervert. I got followed once when I was like me and my 2 friends in like grade 8. We got followed by this creepy guy who like
in a car. How? Tell me.
Walking. we were walking down. I remember this is my first encounter with the pervert. I was always like that kid that was like, huh, that guy's weird. Something my peripheral vision's crazy, and I remember every fucking little detail of everything. So we're walking down this it was by a Home Depot. So it was like factories. My friend lived at this weird end of the street. So we're walking. It was like grade 8. I think it was grade 7. 3 of us were walking, and I'm like, this guy's weird. He's wearing like a suit. I'm like, who the fuck wears a suit in the middle of the summer by Home Depot? Like, this guy's not normal. So I'm like, I think this guy's following. He's like, Steph, stop being so paranoid. I'm like, no, we're getting fucking followed. So we start walking a bit faster, and then he's like catching up, and I'm like, oh, we're getting fucking followed. So we start running. He starts running after us. So I'm like, so what is this one man gonna do for 3 girls? Also, he was like half my size. I'm like, this small man's what the fuck's gonna happen? So we run to her fucking front door's closed. We run her back door, start banging. She lives in the ravine. He literally walks. We remember we were peeking over at him. We got in the house out the window. He walks the ravine and just walks over. Like it's like a cliff. Her mom drives her to school. She comes back. He's sitting on the front porch.
No. Of their house?
Of their house.
And the mom saw this too?
The mom called the cops. Oh, yeah. So it was like,
just mentally ill?
I don't know. Like, because you can't be that much of a pervert.
Sitting
like, what were you going to do?
Porch.
Creepy. So ever since that, I was like, every little piece of anything. So everyone's a pervert to me.
It's doing this show, and it's only been a few years. I'm 49 now, so I'd say in the last 2 years, it's taken a woman to sit across from me and say something like, every man that walks by me, I fear. Mm-hmm. Every one of these people could take me. And I was like, man, rarely have I ever worried about another dude doing that, but never have I worried about a woman passing me and even think, you know what I mean? Like, what a world to have to live in to be like. Oh,
nonstop. Luckily,
and then to have that kind of fucking crazy shit go on.
But luckily I was in Canada, so it wasn't like as scary. I'd walk home a lot at night, but like, so the reason I fired my piping teacher, so it was a chant. You learned on a chanter.
A goddamn piping teacher.
I was like, you had to play, and you'd have to play, and I'd hold it here, so it'd be right by my boob. So I was like, you're growing up, your boobs are like, I don't know, when you're younger, you don't have boobs, but like you get a weird growth spurt where they're like little triangles, and you're super self-conscious. Anyways, I kept thinking they was looking at my tits, so I'd wear like 3 sweaters. So I'd be in the middle of summer, and I'm like trying to play this fucking thing, and I'm just dripping sweat. So finally, my mom and dad splurged. They buy this like used bagpipes, like so because you have to learn on this first, then you attach it, whatever. So I get the bagpipes, and the teacher's name, I won't say his name, but you know who you are if you're listening. He takes the bagpipes out. He goes, "Oh, you got to wet the reed." And I'm like, "Oh, I'll do it." He goes, "No, I'll do it." This man starts sucking my bagpipes, like deep throating them.
No,
like go. And I'm like, oh, I remember being like, "Oh my god, no!" And I was like, I'm like, I think I was like 16 at the time. I'm like, this obese man just sucking my fucking for way too long. And I was like,
at all is way too long.
I was like, I don't think it's how you wet it. He goes, your turn. I'm like, no.
Your turn?
I go, I don't feel well. I feel sick. So he leaves. My dad comes downstairs. This is me sitting on the couch. Like, what? I'm like, I quit. I'm like, what do you mean? You can't fucking quit. He's by the I was like, he just sucked the pipes like a dick. My dad's like, yeah. My dad's like, okay, fine. You don't play anymore. And
so
also,
that's how you do it.
Yeah. My dad's like, no, you.
Did he go say something to the guy?
No, because he was like part of my mom's dancing school, and they were already weird. No. It was just like swept under the rug. See, like nowadays, you'd say something probably.
Fuck yeah.
But back then, I'm acting like I'm. Whatever. I was like,
no. It's the 1800s.
Yeah. Back then, you don't say things like this. No, it was still like, it was still kind of frowned upon. Like,
hell yeah. If you told me, I'd be like, what? He just did what? I would go right up after that motherfucker. Yeah.
Literally.
And this is what you said. This was where was this? At your house?
That was at my house.
Did that? What the balls of this man? And you're home with your dad-o?
My dad was upstairs with his headphones on listening to old,
Jimmy Page. That's how fucking people get killed.
Mm-hmm.
That is how people get killed.
No, this man wasn't well. And I'm like, I'll never play again. Every time I like looked at the bagpipes, I just pictured it was like,
I'm getting sick.
I'm getting sick. Reliving the memory. Bad memory.
What?
So that
fuck?
Was that in high school so that was like part of my high school nightmare.
I know we talked before we were recording outside, and we talked about you were bullied bad. When did the bullying begin?
So grade 8, the year I came out of my shell. So I was like kind of like I spent most of my time with hanging out with dancing people. I didn't have a lot of school friends because I was like, I didn't know after school program. I'd be dancing. Weekends, I didn't hang out with them. I'd be with my dancing friends. So it's like I never had any school friends. So finally in grade 8.
You had classmates.
Yeah. I had like friends. One good friend in middle school, and that was it. Like I had like one girl, Iris. Shout out to Iris. She's great. So I came out of my shell in grade 8, and then 8th grade for you Americans. And I was weird. I like knew I was weird. I like looked weird. I had like a big nose and a small head. Like I didn't grow into my nose yet. I was like tomboy. Like I had full unibrow. Like I looked like a boy. I looked like a boy. In grade 6, like there's photos of me. I can give you them for the podcast. Like if you saw a photo, you'd be like, that's a boy. Like it was, my hair was like, I would wear full Adidas tracksuits, full unibrow, just nose. It was a nose and hair. Like it was a nose and Adidas. That's all it was. I was a nose and two eyes.
In a tracksuit.
In a tracksuit. So I knew I was ugly, and all the boys told me that. So in grade 8, it started with this guy, Daniel. I hope you're listening. I don't give a shit, even though my manager specifically told me to stop saying people's names. She's like, you have to bleep out the last name there. Daniel Bleep. Daniel Bleep, I remember in grade 8 was like, break your fucking nose so you get that thing fixed. It's disgusting. And then I remember this other girl, Antoinette, she liked to chime in too. So I had like 2 or 3 bullies in grade 8 that would constantly call me ugly and big nose, whatever. I'm like, okay, maybe they'll end in high school. So I get to high school and it's 3,000 times worse. So in grade 9.
Kicked into higher gear there.
It got so bad. So I was best friends with the 2 hottest girls in my grade. All the guys wanted them, and then there's me, this nose hanging out with them. And I was like very outgoing, and the guys didn't like it because they would like, I guess, give me attention, not the fucking guys. So there was this group of Greek guys that fucking hated me. I don't know what the fuck happened. They accused me of like being in the way of their relationships. I'm like, my friends were never going to fuck you. Like, first of all, no one's fucking. We're in grade 9, you sick pigs. Maybe some people are. I don't know. I left Virginia Light. Anyways, long story short, they like in the end of the year, it was a yearbook signing. This is like the most vivid memory I have of it. They took my yearbook into the boys' bathroom and they defaced every page saying, I'm ugly. I'm gonna be alone.
Man, are you serious?
Yeah, they like literally made a name for me. I still have the yearbook called Igra. I think it meant ugly in Greek. And they would write it on every single page. I remember crying. I'm like, give me my yearbook back. There's this guy I liked a lot, Kevin Clayton, if you're out there still. And I had this huge crush on him and they knew it. So they took his page and they scribbled on his face and they wrote, he'll never like you. You're fucking ugly, all this shit. And then my friend, I had a really good friend, Ashley, in high school, who took her yearbook and cut out Kevin from hers and taped it onto mine. Sweetest thing. I
right
know.
There.
I always get upset when I think of that. But yeah, that same day, one of the guys, Nico, I'm gonna say his full name because I don't give a fucking shit. We were outside, all signing yearbooks, and he came out to me. He goes, "Take off your Halloween mask, you ugly bitch." So I slapped him across the face. He slapped me back.
No.
He slapped me back, and all the Greek boys pointed and laughed. Oh, yeah. It's like cemented in my fucking head.
How could it not be?
It was so, yeah, I was like tormented. I'd walked in the hall. The worst thing was, I remember I'd walked down the hall alone. The big fucking big nose, you fucking flat-chested bitch. I'd be like, who are you doing this for? No one else is around. Like, bully me around other people makes sense, but they'd bully me like one-on-one. I'm like, it's so fucking hurtful. But by the end of high school, I started doing all the plays, and I started like, yeah, I was in every play. I was like the star of every play. And I was like, the funniest ever. I was like the highlight of all the fucking shit we did. I got on student council. I was like the social functions person. And then 2 of them apologized. Yeah.
Why?
2 of them. One of them, I remember Gus. I'm just saying everyone's name. It's like awful how I remember all this, but I wish I did.
What did he say? And how? How did it go down?
It was in grade 12. I had a party and he showed up. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? He goes, I honestly just came. He's like, I know you don't want me here. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, we were just being childish. I think we didn't know how to handle how outgoing and stuff you were, but like you didn't deserve that. And I just want to deeply apologize. And I was like, and I forgave him because I was like, okay, that's a bigger man. And then another guy, Mike, that I saw a year after high school at a bar, he was hammered. And he used to every day call me fucking Dante's Peak, Toucan Sam, like every fucking day. I was like, God damn it. He was at a bar and he was hammered and he's like, punch me. And he's like, I'm like, what? He's like, fucking punch me. I was such an asshole to you. Fucking do it. And it took every ounce of my soul not to. I just went, no. I'm like, you don't fucking deserve it. I don't even get the fuck out of my face. That was it. And I never done. Now I just have crazy resentment towards people still. But I was like, it was bad.
Man.
I kind of like, it faded out a little bit in grade 10, but not as much. Like they were still like rude as hell.
Did you ever get in, outside of slapping the one guy, did you ever get in any other fights over it?
No, but
was it just boys? Were the girls involved as well?
Boys.
Just guys.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did get in a fight with a girl in grade 10. I got arrested for assault. But
what?
That's
Tell me that. Why?
That was a side note.
Side note, ended up with a record. What did you do?
Yeah. I was dating this Yugoslavian guy. And long story short, I think there was like another Yugoslavian girl who maybe liked him or was jealous that I was dating this Yugoslavian guy. So we were in gym class. I remember she was like screwing up the games and I kept losing when I was on her team. So I got pissed. So a lot of cut ice. So anyway, so one day I'm in the math hallway, another very vivid memory. And it's her and these 2 girls. And I walk by and I'm like, what's your fucking problem? What's the fucking cut eye bitch? And whatever, being like saucy. And then she comes back at me saying some shit. And then her friend that I've never seen in my life shoves me. And I'm like, the fuck? So I shove her back. And then my friend, who I won't name because she hates when I fucking tell the story, she comes out of nowhere. She's like, what the fuck? Shoves this girl off of me. One girl rips off my friend's gold necklace. My friend's like, well, you just got down to Beat Town. So I look over and my friend is just like punching her. Like they're
all
wrestling.
in gym class.
No, this is all in the math hallway, but this is all over a fight school. From gym class. Oh, this is in school. Teacher runs out. We're like, ah! We all leave the fucking building. We go across to this pizza place, and I'm like, we're just like, we're jacked out. We just got in this fucking fight. We're like, what the fuck? My friend's like, I'm going home. I'm like, I'm going to fifth period. I'm like, I didn't do shit. I'm not getting in trouble. So I go to fifth period. I remember asking, it was my presentation and speaking teacher, Mr. Black, and I'm like, hey, there's cameras in the school, right? And he's like, yeah. And I go, okay. He's like, why? I go, they record, right? And he's like, yes, Stephanie, why are you asking this? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Because in my head, I'm like, if they see the cameras, they'll see that she initiated the fight and then we were standing up for ourselves. And I knew, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I'm probably suspended, whatever. So I come to school the next day, everyone's talking about it. I feel pretty cool. I'm like, I think it was grade 11 actually. I'm like, oh yeah, we feel pretty hot shots over here. Everyone's yapping about it. So I'm in math class, fifth period. Knock on the door, opens it up. It's like one of I don't know, some teacher guy who just helps out. And he's like, can Stephanie please come out and tell her to get all of her stuff? And everyone's like, ooh. And I'm like, ooh. And I was like, you did that so cocky. Yeah. I would see you in 2 days, motherfuckers. So I'm walking down the hallway and he's like, you are in more trouble than you know. And I'm like, I didn't do shit. He goes, when we get to the office, don't talk. And I'm like, okay. So I get to the office, I'm sitting there. And also I should clarify, we had uniforms. So I'm wearing a little schoolgirl kilt. I was a punker, so I had like a dog collar on. I had pink streaks in my hair. I had all these like homemade socks. Like I was like, thought I was so fucking cool. I'm sitting there. I remember I had this big Roxy backpack with Blink-182 patches all over it. This woman comes over to me. She goes, is this your bag? I go, yeah. She opens it. I go, hello? She goes, oh, my bag. She goes, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will. I'm like, excuse me? She goes, you have the right to remain silent. I'm like, who the fuck are you? What is going on right now? She's like, you're getting arrested for putting a girl in the hospital. And I was like, And I look over and my friend is like, she sees my face. I immediately start crying. I'm like, I'm like losing my mind. We get handcuffed in the school office. They have to clear out the school. Oh yeah.
No. What do you mean clear out the school?
So they like everyone had to get out. So they walked us down. You? Oh yeah. They walked us down the fucking thing. Also didn't ask us a single thing. I'm like, look at the cameras. I kept yelling, look at the cameras. We get taken out. I'm in a cop car in front of the school. Everyone's looking in. I'm sobbing my eyes out. I remember I was crying so bad.
They did this in front of all the students?
Oh, yeah. And the teachers, everybody. It was a fucking parade. And then I'm like crying so bad. The cop was like this young, hot fucking cop. Oh, God, he was hot. I'm like, I didn't do anything, I swear. And he was like shoving McDonald's napkins through the fucking bars. And he's like, I'm just the driver. And I was like sobbing. On the way to the police station, my mom's dancers, two of the dancers, pulled up beside me and they see me and I go, I didn't.
No,
like, yes,
they recognize you in the car.
Yeah, in the cop car. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, my mom's going to fucking kill me. So the funniest part of this whole thing, so we get taken to the local precinct by our house, whatever. We both get put in these two separate rooms. They weren't like a cell, but it was like an all metal room, whatever. My friend is laughing. She finds this hilarious because she's like, we didn't do it. Like, what the fuck did we do? And I'm like, I'm dead. I'm murdered. So the principal wasn't there that day when this all happened. So the vice principal calls my dad, and my dad has a bunch of prankster buddies. So the principal calls my dad and goes, hello, Mr. Tolev, this is so-and-so from East Shore Collegiate. Your daughter's been arrested for assault. So my dad goes, fuck you, Steve. And then hangs up the phone. Calls back. Actually, no, this is the vice principal. And my dad's like, oh shit, like thought it was a prank call. And then, yeah, turns out we got, initially we got expelled. So we got expelled and arrested. So, full fingerprints, the whole deal. So my dad goes back in to like be like, what's going on? My daughter didn't get her say the story. You just literally, so what happened was the girl came in the next morning with her mom, opened the yearbook, pointed to me and my friend and said, these two, and they said it's a hate crime. So she tried saying, so she was Yugoslavian. So she tried saying that we beat her up because we hate Europeans. My whole family's Bulgarian. My grandfather does not speak English. He's rest in peace, but like he very broken Bulgarian. My friend's whole family is Portuguese. Her nonna never said a word in her life. This is not a hate crime. Our whole family is European. No one speaks English. I don't know. You can't use this. So my dad was like, you can't use this as an excuse. So my dad went in and her mom went in and they fought and they got us back in the school. So we were expelled for, I guess, long suspended for a month. And then we got back in because like my parents both graduated from that high school and their grandparents said they needed me to go there. It was this whole fucking thing. But
is that all expunged off your shit, or if you get in trouble these days, is that just floating around back there?
I don't think I can be a cop or boo-hoo. My fallback of being a female police officer in Los Angeles, no. I think in Canada they can really find it. But it's like I was 16.
And what happened to the girl? What did she just got?
I hope that she's been watching me on Netflix. I hope she sat down with her mother.
But I mean,
and
did
like,
she get fucked up? Was
she
it
was
a lie
fine.
that she didn't go to the hospital?
She was fine. She went in for she had like a bruise. Nothing was wrong with her. It was fine. It was a high school fight.
She just took a good ass.
Yeah. She got her ass beat. Don't be shoving me. Your ass beat.
At any point, do you ever stick up for yourself, and it changes?
I think
or did you just outlast it and then a couple people apologize?
I think I outlasted. I think I got more popular, so people stopped making fun of me.
And when did the bullying actually stop?
I'd say grade 10. Also, after I got like arrested, people I think thought I was like a badass. So they were like,
cool thing.
And I was like, I didn't care. I was like super like, I was a big punker, so I'd wear wild shit. I'd wear like 2 different color fishnets with like striped socks. I was like, no one, and a dog color is weird. Like, so I was kind of like in a weird, like the drama crew. So nobody was like fucking with that. And by that point, I think they were over it. The bullies kind of fucked off.
And are you dating at the time at all? You said you lost your virginity late, but are you dating at all in high school or anything after that? There's no punk boys in that circle or anything like that?
No, I was like in love with one of my best friends in high school who led me on for a couple of years and nothing ever happened with that. I was like, oh, that's a nightmare.
But you would have liked it too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you would have?
Yeah. He told me every day that he was going to leave his girlfriend and never did. And it was one of those situations. If you're listening, you know who you are.
They're all coming out now.
I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to get a shot for this. I'm just outing everybody.
Full of ghosts right now.
Oh, God. So that was like my start to like, dating hell. And then I ended up having a serious boyfriend from 19 to 24 that I met in college.
Okay.
And then that went well.
Where was college?
Toronto.
Okay.
So I ended up going to, I applied to be like, I wanted to be an actor. And then that didn't happen because I didn't get into any of the schools. I applied to 4 and they're like, no. And we have a comedy writing and performance program, like a 2-year college program. So I took that.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Okay. It was more like, getting high every day. And I lived with 8 guys. So we would just smoke weed and play foosball. And
dated none of them. Dated none of them?
I dated one of them. Yeah. So that's, okay. So one of them.
That was the guy.
Yeah, that was the guy.
I see.
So this is a weird fact. So I dated this man, Steve. He doesn't care if I talk about him. Great guy. Love Steve to bits. It just, he was the first guy I ever dated. He could have been married. And I was like, I'm 24. I've never dated anybody else. He's the only guy I've had sex with. I'm like, I can't live like this. And I turned out to be a raging whore after him. But anyways, before that, I was a little meek girl. Steve became very close to my father when I was dating him. And again, let me rephrase. I broke up when we were 24 years old. I'm now 37. Steve still talks to my dad.
Does he?
I don't mean just like here and there. I mean, Steve calls my father every Father's Day, every birthday, every Christmas. Sent a screenshot. So I'm in a group thread with all the guys I used to live with. They all find it quite amusing that Steve is good friends with my father. I don't as much find it funny. So 2 days ago, Steve sent a screenshot. He talked to my father for 30 minutes on the phone.
Why are they so, what is the bond?
I don't know. I find it. He has a wife.
He just loves
my dad went and did wiring.
On his wife with your dad. He did not.
Yes, my dad has slept over at him and his wife's house. Yes. He did wiring in the house. It's fucking weird.
Steve, you need some boundaries, bro. God damn.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? No one believes me when I tell them this. I'm like, it's so odd.
A boyfriend from 13 years ago.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Is like, I could understand every now and then a Merry Christmas or whatever if he's good to him. This is best friends. It sounds like best friend shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wiring someone's house.
It's, sleeping over. Yeah, apparently Steve just moved to a new house and he asked him to come help him out with the wiring in the garage. It needs to end at some point. I'm like, this is, and Steve invited my mom and dad to his wedding and not me. Is that not fucking twisted? That's psychotic. It's truly unhinged.
Summer is full of official events like weddings, graduations, and annual barbecues, but everyone knows the best summer moments are the unofficial ones. Summer is officially the warmest time of the year. Unofficially, it's the chillest. The weekend is officially Saturday and Sunday. Unofficially, it's Friday afternoon too, y'all. Coors Light is the official beer of everything unofficial, celebrating those casual, off-the-cuff moments that truly make summer chill. I just had my good buddy Eric out here from childhood. They were putting my name on the Comedy Store wall, and he's like, we're drinking. And I was like, we are. And he's like, we're getting Coors Light. And I was like, we're only getting Coors Light. And I'm telling you, there's a sizable dent in the amount of Coors Light left in Southern California. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. It is literally made to chill. It's as crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Perfect for a moment to unwind. Summer chill starts with Coors Light. To check out what Coors Light has going on this summer, visit CoorsLightSummer.com. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Did you know that an estimated 5 billion plastic hand soap and cleaning bottles are thrown away each year? Most cleaning formulas are 90% water, which is heavy to ship, leading to excessive carbon emissions. Those products are often filled with nasty ingredients like chlorine and ammonia. Blueland is on a mission to eliminate single-use plastics by reinventing home essentials that are good for you and the planet. Blueland's innovative tablet refill solution takes up 10 times less space than a traditional bottle, and their powerful formulas keep your home clean and smelling amazing. The idea is simple. You grab one of the beautiful Forever bottles, you fill it with warm water, you drop in the tablet, and you get cleaning. Refills start at $2, and you don't even have to buy a new plastic bottle every time you run out. You can even set up a subscription so you never run out of the products you use the most. From cleaning sprays to hand soap to toilet cleaner and laundry tablets, all Blueland products are made with ingredients you can feel good about. Try their Clean Essentials Kit, which has everything you need to get started. Products come in refreshing signature scents like iris agave, fresh lemon, and eucalyptus mint. And for a limited time, their hand soap is getting a summer upgrade with 3 refreshing new scents: strawberry, rhubarb, citrus patchouli, and coconut palm. Right now, you can get 15% off your first order when you go to blueland.com/honeydew. That's 15% off your first order of any Blueland products at blueland.com/honeydew. Blueland.com/honeydew. It's summer. Lighten up. Dadgrass is great anytime. They can help you chill out before a big meeting or be a new replacement to that evening glass of wine. They are the perfect pairing to everything summer has to offer. Dadgrass is legal, organic hemp that relaxes your body and mellows your mind. Dadgrass CBD products are made with 100% organic hemp that's easy to dose, and the effects come on smooth. They offer a variety of products from their token smokable pre-rolled joints as well as hemp flower and a variety of CBD tincture drops. Enjoy the effects of CBD while keeping a clear head. All Dadgrass products are federally legal for ages 18 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the U.S. Go to dadgrass.com/honeydew to check out their products. Whether you're looking for a new buzz or a chill way to enjoy an old favorite, Dadgrass will leave you in a euphoric mood. Right now, Dadgrass is offering my listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/honeydew. Go to dadgrass.com/honeydew for 20% off your first order. That's dadgrass.com/honeydew. Now, let's get back to the do. Are your parents still together?
Yes.
They are. Okay. So what is your relationship like with let's start with your dad. Is this typical, like this sort of thing with Steve, or?
No. Me and my dad, we get along now, which is great, but we did not get along when we were younger. We butt heads a lot. My dad's a very angry man, very short-tempered is the term I guess I'll use. So it's like 0 to, I think he has bipolar, but it's never been diagnosed, because it'll go from like 0 to rage in such a way where you're like, this doesn't make sense how you got here. There's something I Googled recently called rage induced blackouts. I'm not sure if you heard this, where when you get so mad, your brain kind of clicks off and you say shit and you don't remember it after.
And you don't even know.
So when I was in high school, right after high school, first year of college, we fought a lot over like nothing. Small things would annoy him, and I got snippy back. He'd be like, "Where's my dinner?" I'm like, "I'm not your fucking maid. Make your own fucking dinner." And then we would like rage out at each other. And then one day when I was 18, we got in a big fight, and I said something. I think it was over the fucking kitchen scissors. And he was like, "What the fuck are they?" I'm like, "Fucking use your eyes." And then I feel this chair come flying at my head, and he threw like this big stool at my head, and I was like,
"It hit you?"
Hit me in the head. And then
I'm
like, "Fuck you!" And then we got in a fight. Like I got in a physical fight with my dad, and I was like,
"You got in a physical fight with your dad?"
I was on the couch. I remember I was so scared. I'm like, he's gonna fucking. I'm like, I can't take my dad. No fucking way. I can't take me on my fucking dog collar. I'm like, I can't take shit. I'm like, yeah, put me. I'm like, yeah, put me in a mosh pit. Maybe. I'm like, I am fucked. So I remember I kicked him in the balls. Really hard.
Steph, you kicked your father in the balls.
So hard, and I ran to my friend's house with no shoes or socks on. I ran.
Why did the shoe get stuck in his nuts?
I was like, I have to get the fuck out of here. And I stayed at my friend's house for like 3 days, and then I moved. I was so scared. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. Yeah. I'm going to be fucking murdered. Like, are you kidding me right now? So I literally ran, and I stayed there, and then I moved out.
You did?
I moved out. I had $250 in my bank account, and I moved into the house with the guys.
Boom. Yeah. Just like that?
Oh, yeah.
And at what point do you finally talk to your dad?
After I was like, I'm moving out, and I'm scared now. But the thing with his like rage, where he would get so mad, be mad for a couple days, and then be like normal again, and then not remember what happened. So like in the pandemic, we had a similar situation where we got in a fucking psychotic fight. Because it's also, I was home for a bit. It was too long.
So we were physically together there?
Physically together a lot. And like something happened. I made a comment about something that pissed him off. And he snapped. And I got so mad. I remember stirring my coffee, go fight me. And at this point, I'm like, I'm a bit stronger now. I'm like, he's got some bad feet. I'm like, I think I could.
How old is he now?
62, 63. I'm like, I could throw a couple punches in there.
He's not a senior citizen yet. It's not a hate crime.
Yeah. I'm like, I could get a couple in there before I get beat the hell up. I'm like, I could outrun him. So I put my coffee down. My mom was just in there like, what the fuck's going on? And I was like, I'm like, fight me. I'm like, go right now. I'm like, I can't deal with this fucking. I'm like, fucking hit me right fucking now. And he stood there for a second. I'm like, I think he's going to. Thank God he didn't. Because I'm like, that it would have been bad. But we got in this massive fight, and then I didn't talk to him for 5 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is the longest I've ever gone. And I emailed him. He kept emailing me like, what's going on? Why aren't we talking? And I'm like, and then I emailed him with exactly what he said to me. I'm like, you said this, and very hurtful things. Like, I'm not funny. No guys like me. Like, things that I already knew about myself that I like, upsetting. Like, it's like he found everything in my head that I already thought about myself and just said it back to me. And then afterwards, I was like, you said all this stuff. He's like, I never said any of that. I'm like, oh. Are you joking? And then I had a very serious conversation. I'm like, do you actually not remember saying any of this? He's like, I swear I don't remember saying any of that. I'm like, then something's up. And then I Googled it, and there's the rage-induced like fucking blackouts, which I'm like, it sounds crazy, but I'm like, if you don't remember, because it was wild shit he was saying, like really insane shit. I'm like, no guy likes me. I'm like, okay, chill. I have a lot of sex. They like me when I'm in bed, Dad.
Your dad is not to hear that.
He better not hear this. We have to block him. I'm gonna have to block him on Instagram when this comes out.
So how did you end up patching things up?
He agreed to get some help for his anger issues.
Okay.
And I think he did like some online classes and stuff. And now it's like, it's way better now. Like I talk to my dad every day now.
Okay,
like
good.
We're super chill and like.
So it made a difference.
Yeah, these clips can't make it to Instagram. But yeah.
Good for, an old dog learning new tricks too.
Thing.
I mean, he must love you enough to say, all right.
And that's the thing. I know he does love me, and he's so fucking supportive. Like he wears my merch all the time. Like my dad has a Steph Tolev shirt that he took to South Africa. He took to Scotland. He wears at the cottage. He's like selling them to people at the cottage. Like I know he's like probably him and my sister are the most supportive of my comedy, but it's like he just has like an anger problem. And that's that.
How's your mom dealt with it all these years? Don't you ever ask her?
She eggs him on. She likes to poke the bear, whatever it's called. She likes to push him, and then.
But you made the difference.
Yeah, I think so. Good, yeah, because I'm like I can't deal with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my mom is very. What's the word? She likes to brag.
Your mom does?
Mm-hmm. Not about me, but about like
her 11-time champion.
That and like, literally, dancing's her life.
I'm sure.
Dancing's her life. So dancing is like my mom's. Everything is dancing. So like me and my sister, like my mom would be teaching every weekend or whatever, like on trips, like judging and stuff. And like so, my dad pretty much raised me and my sister. My mom was like never around.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a very interesting relationship we have with her recently. And she like, if I say something like, I know she's trying to be nice, but I'll be like, oh, I had a meeting with NBC. And then all of a sudden 2 of her friends are like facing me and go, NBC signed you? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
that is so annoying.
It's psychotic. And I said I have a meeting with like Will Ferrell's coming this week. And she's like, so when's the movie with Will Ferrell? I'm like, what the hell are you on about right now? I never said that. Like, you take one thing, you don't listen to me. Every time I call her, she's like on the computer. I'm like, you're not listening to me. She's like, anyways, I was out. I'm like, I'm watching you not listen to what I'm saying right now. Like, you're just in your own world. It's all about dancing. It's just very, I mean, no one's getting along great with their parents. And if they are, you're not a comedian. I don't know what to tell you. If you like, I remember I met my sketch partner, actually, Alison Hogg, very funny comedian in Canada. I remember I met her parents, and they were kissing the whole time at dinner and holding hands. I remember sitting there being like, what the fuck? After dinner, I'm like, I'm sorry, do your parents always do that? And she's like, yeah, don't yours? I'm like, I haven't seen my parents kiss on the lips my whole life. I'm like, I don't think they know they have hands.
I remember seeing my parents hug once.
See, yeah.
Hug once.
And that is like, that's probably cemented in your head. And I'm like, huh. Oh yeah. So I was like, that was wild to see that. I'm like, oh, that's
you don't realize, we talk about this all the time. You don't realize how what is it, abnormal your life is until you start going to other people's homes.
Oh yeah.
You know, I joke about it all the time, like, you guys get hugs?
You know what I mean? Like, I see people like here. Say
cereals and the foods and their habits, and one friend,
I love yous. I'm like,
hugs, and one friend could cuss in front of his parents. Our friend Jason Danilowski, shout out to Jason Danilowski, he could cuss everything but fuck. He was allowed to say.
Oh, wow.
And the first time we're over there, he's like, that's bullshit, Dad. We were all like, about to watch you get your ass beat. And they didn't do anything. And we were like,
oh, okay.
He's not going to do anything? Like, they're going to beat you after we leave? And he's like, no, I'm allowed to cuss. We're like, nah. He's like, yeah. And this was middle school, 6th grade.
Wow. That's young.
Yep.
Shit. I remember I cursed a lot as a kid because they would curse. And then they got mad when I did it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, my mom didn't say she loved me. She started saying it like the last 4 years.
Okay. What happened?
I don't know. I think.
Did she drop it on you?
Yeah. Because I remember as a kid, she'd be like, hey, good night. And we'd be like, good night. Bye, Mom. See ya, good night. Hey, shut the door on the way out. Like, what the fuck? Oh, I'll get the blanket. Don't worry about that. I'll get the, I'm like 6. I'll get the blanket. Don't worry. I'm just reading myself a story. Just so sad. And good night, moon. I'm just crying myself to sleep. My dad said it, but my mom never. I think she was also.
So the angry guy would give you the I love you, huh?
The angry guy was still like, as angry he was still very emotional.
Just didn't know how to process it.
He used to know how to process his anger, but he was very loving. Like, I will say, minus the throwing of the chairs. But he wasn't throwing; he was throwing kisses. No, he was loving, but he was just angry. My mom was just kind of closed off and not loving. So now I think she's trying a bit more. But when she says it now, she's like, she's still saying it. I go, what? She's like, I love you. I'm like, oh, I love you. Bye. Because I'm like, I'm not used to, and I've been in no relationships that have been anything in the last, like, I haven't been in love in.
You look at your watch again.
I'm going to say, it's going to sound sad, maybe like 10 years.
Is this because of Steven?
No, it wasn't Steve. I had a
boyfriend. Are you worried that the boyfriend is going to be buddies with your dad again?
Yeah, that's why I've been alone so long. PTSD.
Post-traumatic Steve disorder. You haven't been in love. When's the last time you were in love? You said 10 years?
I'm going to say 10 years, but the last guy I was in love with emotionally fucked me in such a way that I don't know. It'll take a long time for me to be in love with somebody again. He was very like, one day he loved me. One day he told me to get the fuck out of his house. The next day he was like making out with me in front of everybody. The next day we were just friends. The next day it was like very back and forth. We also have matching tattoos that I need to get covered up because it's haunting to look at.
How long were you together?
Well, technically to him we never were. So
what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It was an on and off thing that we had for several years, and then we started fucking when I was 27, and then we fucked until I moved to LA, and that was 30. It's a long time, 30, 31. Yeah.
That's a 3-4 year relationship.
3-4 years. It was like it was very back and forth. Like at first we weren't together.
So he was not in love, or he was at one point?
He often said he was in love with me, and then he wouldn't say it again, and then he would. It was very fucked up. And I randomly saw him about in November at a festival in Canada, and
is he a comedian?
And I'm not going to say his name because last time I talked about him on a podcast.
You dropped enough fucking names.
And also last time I mentioned this scenario on a podcast, he made them take it off. because it was friends of mine. I'm like, I'm not taking this off. Sorry, you fucked me. He's a pattern with he does with other women. Also, when you fuck somebody emotionally this badly, like it's a lot. It's when you get a matching tattoo with someone and then you say you were never with them. It's confusing. You get confused.
Yeah, that's a little confusing.
But yeah, I ended up approaching him and like giving him the rundown, and like I like cathartically came out and told him everything. I'm like, you did this and this, and then I started crying, and I was like, it felt not like a sad cry, but like oh my fucking God, this feels good to come out cry. So I think I'm like fine. I'm obviously over that, but
how'd he take it?
Apparently shocked. I don't know. He's like, I never knew he did that. I'm like, okay, you're whatever. It's I don't want to think about him. But yeah, it was that was a lot. So that was the last like kind of like that's the last time I probably was in love. And then since then I've had a couple like 3-monthers here and there, and like I had a COVID relationship with a guy who there's a pattern with me where men just ghost me. It's just like a fucking doesn't matter how long, like 3, 4 months, 5 months, nothing. They just
talking to you every day, and then
I had
nothing.
I had a guy in Toronto. We were together for like the whole path of the pandemic, 4 months, and then I came back to LA and I was like, we were still kind of talking. He's like, I can't do this, and then never talked to me again. I'm like, okay.
Not I met someone.
No, can't do this. Never talk to me again. I had another guy from Vancouver that reached out to me. He was like a fan. We had this weird 3-month thing. We were like FaceTiming every day, and he was like, I just want to make you my girlfriend. I just want to come visit you. And then like I told him I was going to come visit him, and then he ghosted me. And then funny enough, I got an email. Right after the Netflix came out.
Oh, did you?
Isn't that funny timing? Mm-hmm.
What did that email say?
It was an attempt at an apology. At no point did he say he was sorry. He said, I should never have tried to get in an intimate relationship with you. I'm disgusted with my behavior. I should never have ghosted you. No, I'm sorry. No, I can't believe what I put you through. Nothing I wanted to like. Oh yeah, I've
had women call me out on shit before, and I just have to. You got to eat it, and I write back. You're right. I'm sorry. I won't contact you again.
Yeah.
It's that easy. Like,
it's also, I guarantee you've never ghosted like that.
I've never ghosted like that on anybody.
See, that's the problem. This is the issue.
No,
the issue
I've
is
had the uncomfortable conversation every time, and 9 out of 10, if it was possible, it was person to person. It was not fucking technology.
That's even ballsy. That's great.
You know,
if you're gonna, here's the thing. I don't care
if you're
like,
gonna let me do all the shit that we're gonna do sexually. The least I can do is talk to you in person and say this isn't working out.
Yes. And thank you. Men, are you listening to this?
If they let you see their butthole, the least you could do is talk to them face to face when you're saying goodbye.
Or butthole to face. If you're
still into it, whatever. If you're an ass guy.
It's like also you can't like I'm not talking about the 1 or 2 week like Tinder thing, you hook up, you don't who cares about that?
I've never even done that. So I'm talking about what we're talking about.
I'm talking about like an actual you're going to fucking talk to this woman every day, you're going to send fucking all this. I had another guy that I met in January that we had like we got close. I met him when I was in Grand Rapids, and it was like I was like super into him, and it was like talking every day, and like 4 months talking, gonna go visit him after the Bill Burr taping, and then I do not hear from him for a month, and I'm like, fuck this. So I fucking snapped and wrote this big thing being like, fuck you. You don't fucking deserve this. You don't deserve to fucking call me every day, say you like me, all this bullshit. It fucks with me. I cannot
Of course it does.
Anytime I talk to a guy now, I'm like, you can't ghost me. I will go off the rails. Like, I also say to guys, which is like so, I don't know how they can't get through their thick fucking heads. I get told no. I get told every day a no. I don't want this. I don't want you. You didn't book the part. Every fucking day in my life, I get it. You saying you don't want to see me anymore is not going to affect me in the way you think it is. I'm not going to be, oh no, this guy who smokes 1,000 cigarettes a day and fucking his dick doesn't get hard, doesn't want to see me anymore. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. Like, I don't give a fuck. I get more upset when they're like, no, you didn't get a call back for the Judd Apatow movie. I'm like, yeah, that I'm not going to be upset about. This, I'm not going to, like, it's so insane to not be like, just fucking, it's very frustrating. So that's why I'm scared now to even get in a relationship, to even like talk to anybody. I'm talking to somebody now and I can't even tell if he likes me. It's very strange. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
It's a weird time. It is. The readiness and availability of penis and vagina is too much.
It's too much. The apps are too much.
Back in the old days. You met someone local. You maybe met him at a bar or at the store or a friend of a friend. You know what I mean? And you held on to a relationship because there weren't 10,000 other opportunities on this fucking app that I can just touch with my finger. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of people devalue relationships these days because it's so easy to hop onto the next dick or put your dick in the next hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
So I think that plays a part in it. And also, I don't know. I don't know if it's a generational thing. I don't know. But I hear from a lot of my girlfriends that guys do this. Won't talk to him for 3 or 4 days. And it's like, this is your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Hadn't talked to you for a week? Won't come over tonight? Constantly canceling plans? That's not a boyfriend.
No. I don't trust anybody anymore. So this guy I'm talking to now, I'm like, I think we're just talking. He brought a friend to my show the other night at the Comedy Store. And I was like, oh, what did you tell your friend? Like, who you going to see? He said, a girl I'm talking to. I'm like, okay, so talking to me means he's still on the apps. He's still probably talking to other women. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm also talking to other men and like doing whatever. Because I'm like, I'm not in a relationship. I'm also haven't heard from him in days. So it's like, what is this? I'm also just like, I'm over. Unless a man is like obsessed with me, like, I don't mean obsessed, but like, I mean,
I know you
know what I mean? Like calling me every day, checking in, like, unless someone's doing that, that's what I want right now. That's what I want, a guy that really, and I'm like, I'm not going to force. I have some friends who are like, you know, men and women who are like with people they don't really like, but it's like, you know, they're nice enough. I'm like, I don't want that. I want someone that I'm like, I want to fuck you all the time. I want you to like be around me. I want you to meet my family. I want to like
call you while you're at work and say hi, like, check in. How's your day going? Get home. I'm always like that. When you get home, call me when you're inside and safe. I want to know you're fucking safe.
That's it. It's a nice normal thing to do.
Care about some. Well, it's also it's not hard to care about somebody you care about.
Yeah, and then I'm like,
and then when you don't feel that, you're like, oh, you just don't care about me.
That's exactly.
You know what I mean? That's it. It's not hard to care about someone you care about or love someone you love.
Yeah.
So when you don't feel it, your feeling is accurate.
Yeah. So
this person doesn't give a fuck.
So right now I'm like, this person doesn't give a fuck. I'm like, so I have to have a chat when I have to be like in a couple of days, be like, hey, this is not working for me. This is not what I want. Like
Do you have to do that though?
I guess not. Yeah, I guess I don't need to.
Move on.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is, it's like.
It's already what you don't want. You don't owe that guy that's not telling you and behaving the way you don't want that you don't want it. I don't, he knows.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's an interesting description these days. It's a girl I'm talking to, huh?
I'm like, I also haven't been in a relationship in so long. I'm like, is that what people say? I don't know anymore. I'm so confused. I'm also just like,
I don't know if it's
exhausting.
About. We don't need to know all that. It's you got to just connect with that person that the same shit jives for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you're like that, I'm like that.
Yeah.
You also don't want someone that wants to call you all the time, check in on you, but that other person's like, you're suffocating. You know, might be that for somebody.
Exactly. I don't want that.
I'm like, I get it. I
don't need you up my ass around the corner. I like a daily check in. I like a good morning. I like a good night. If you have, and I like to know. I'm a planner. I like a plan. Give me a plan. Let me know what's going on. I like to know. There's not like the other days. Oh, maybe I'm gonna come to the bar. I'll maybe meet you later. I'm like, it's mabies. I don't do mabies. You're coming or not. Otherwise, I'm gonna fuck somebody else. Like, Mama's horny. I'm waiting around. Maybe I'll find somebody else. Maybe nothing. I'm annoyed. It's too much. The dating scene's exhausting out here. I'm just like, it's been like, oh, you want to talk about lows? We get real dark here.
Talk about it.
When I first moved out here, I was almost raped. It was very fucked up.
In LA?
In LA.
What happened?
I was this guy who kind of was a comedian, lived in this weird halfway house thing. I'm not really sure what it was. And I went to meet him, and then we were going just to go to a bar. And I were getting there, and this like, it was all dark. And he's like, you can't talk in here. It's quiet. It's in bed. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock. What's going on? So I remember sitting there, and this like guy comes out of this room, and he's like, whoa, who's this? And I'm like, oh, hi. He's like, who are you? And I'm like, and I remember immediately being like, ooh, I don't like this guy. This is a bad guy, and I don't want to be around him. We end up going to bars. Like, can I come? And I'm like, I hate this man. So we go to the bar. My friend's like, oh, I have to go grab weed. He runs. This is before they're like selling weed everywhere out here. He runs off. I'm stuck with this fucking weirdo guy. So I'm like, okay, let's walk back and find him. So we start walking back outside, and I remember he's like, walk in front. I want to watch you walk. I want to watch your legs. And I'm like, hey man, you're like really creeping me out. I'm like, can you please stop? Like I don't feel uncomfortable right now. Please stop. And I'm like kind of drunk because I've had a couple drinks. I can meet him, whatever. We end up going, I have to go to the bathroom now. So I'm like, can I go back to your house and go pee? I go to the bathroom. He tries to come to the bathroom. I go, oh, no. He's like, let me come in. I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom. So I'm closing the door, and I'm like, trying to find my phone. I'm like, text my friend. I'm like, where the fuck are you? I'm like, your friend's freaking me out. What the fuck is going on? So I'm texting in the bathroom. Come out. He takes me outside, puts me against the wall, and starts like really kissing me. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, sorry. I'm like, I think I gave you the wrong idea. I don't want this. He was like, you know you want it. And I'm like, and he was like really strong. Like he's kind of scrawny. I'm like, God damn, this guy's strong. And I'm like, this is not good. Something's going to happen. I can tell something bad. Parched. My rape story is making me thirsty.
Sorry.
So you gotta laugh at it sometimes. So I remember we were in Silver Lake and it was like this weird area. He's like, come see this hill. I'm like, I don't want to see this hill. He's like, come with me right now. And he like grabbed my hand. I'm like, if I don't do what this guy says, I'm like, he's freaking me out.
Kill you.
I'm like, I'm worried. So we get to the top of this hill and he's like dragging my hand, not dragging, but he's holding my hand really tightly. And I'm like, I keep like trying to grab my phone. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? What the fuck is going on right now? Get to the top of the hill and there's this like box opened up. Like I'm like, I literally, and out loud I went, is this where you bring all your victims? And he did not laugh. And I was like, oh my God, this is where he brings his victims. And then he like shoved me to the ground. I'm like, oh my God. And he like I was wearing shorts and he shoved his finger inside me like so badly. Like, I'm like, stop. And I yelled, stop. And I like pulled his hand out and like it was so bad it bled. Like when I got home the next day, that night, I checked, it was bad. Like I was like saying no. So I kept like, I remember in the moment, I'm like, I've always been that girl where I'm like, if I get raped, I'm going to kick his ass. This guy can't do shit. You go fucking numb. I lied there. I'm like, I literally in my head went, I'm getting raped. Deal with it in the morning. And I kept like, it was fucked. And I'm like, I've always like, hello, I got arrested for assault. Like I'm like, if a guy fucking bugs me, I'll shove him back. Like I'm not.
Kicked your dad in the nuts.
Kick my dad nuts. I'm like, I'm a tough fucking girl. Like I don't take shit. And this was like, oh, I'm about to be raped. And this is my life now.
Can I just ask you, does this like wash of disbelief just paralyze you? Like, I can't believe this is this isn't real.
It's not happening.
Is that what's
and
going
it's
on?
like you can't even like
process
it, and your body's fucking frozen.
And
like
he's
I've talked to other women,
fingers inside
and I got those out, and I just in my head.
And
I'm
now
like,
what? He's shoving you to the ground.
Now so I'm on the ground. He's on top of me, and he's holding me down. No, I can't scream. I'm not. You can't scream.
That.
Like you always like.
It's that nightmare dream where you fucking can't yell.
And I'm like in my head, I'm like, there's got to be something you can do to just get him to stop. So I just kept kissing him, and I kept distracting him, and it kept. I guess he hadn't been kissed in a long time, so he was like getting really into the kissing. So I finally was like, I got up, I like rolled over, and I was like, it was fucked. So I get up, and I'm like, so we're kissing, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, I have to go. He's like, what? I'm like, and then I ran. I fucking booked it. I booked it. I don't know where the fuck I was in Silver Lake. I turned around. He wasn't there. I'm like, oh my God, I get around the corner. I was staying at my friend's house at the time. I had a massive leak in my apartment in LA. So I was like, I stay at my friend's house. I get to the apartment. I was headlining this big club in Canada for the first time ever. So I remember getting to her apartment, scrubbing my body, like just in the shower, just scrubbing everything fucking off my body. Like his smell was on me. And then I remember I told his friend, I'm like, hey, your friend tried to rape me. What the fuck? And he's like, no, he has PTSD from the war. You can't. I'm like, I can't what? Report him? He's like, no, he's really like, he's something's happened to him in the war. He's not well. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what happened in the war. Seriously. Your friend tried to fucking rape me. Like, what the hell? That guy did nothing. And then weirdly enough, that guy came to a show of mine like the last few months.
The raper?
No, the non-raper, the friend. And he like took me, he came to the show and I was like, I got paralyzed. I was like, and I got this whole like feeling all over and anxiety. I'm like, oh my God. And then the playing again in my head. I'm like, oh my fucking God. And then I took him outside of the show. He's like, hey, sorry to show up like that. I'm like, yeah, man, what are you doing here? Like, you can't be here. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I should have believed you. I was going through my own shit. I wasn't listening to you at the time. But like, I've always regretted not like, helping you out. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and now I'm like, I probably still could report this guy. I'm like, I asked him, I would still like to report him if we can get his name and like some idea of his whereabouts. Like, he's probably doing that to other fucking women. Like, this is a bad man. Like, this is like, yeah, it's a nightmare.
Damn, Steph.
But it's like really like I just like I sympathize with women where it's like, oh, how'd they get raped? They just lie there and take it. You can't plan what you do. You think you can like grab whatever the fuck, but it's like you are completely still, and there's nothing you can do. And I'm like, I've been in so many fights. I've been in like. Me and my friend got kicked out of this nightclub one time. We both started throwing punches. On my birthday once, this girl stole my phone. I fought 3 chicks and a guy. Like, I am a fucking tough bitch, but it's like some situations your body just doesn't fucking move.
Well, tough doesn't always just mean physically either. Yeah. You were mentally tough in that situation to give yourself up enough to kiss the guy to save yourself. So let me ask you straight up: if you didn't do that, there's no way you were. He was strong as shit. Huh?
He was strong,
you weren't
and
getting
he was
him off you.
No, I
it
could
was
not.
Gonna happen.
He was strong as fuck, and he was like so small that I can't believe how strong he was.
Let his guard down.
He did, and he
you rolled over.
I rolled it off, and
then
I got us to standing up, and then I booked it. Nightmare on Elm Street. It was awful, and I was like, that's dating in LA. Like, it's bad. And I thought of all the other women like that had been in that situation. Like, how many women before him have been in the situation with this guy? Like, he looked like Christian Bale with a long beard. If anyone anyone knows this guy, fucking DM me and we'll talk about it. But like, yeah, it was like, it's fucked. It's really scary. And it's also like now, like all these, like if you've watched these like crazy, like this guy, I don't know, I saw this one stupid thing recently. It was like a guy on Tinder takes a girl into the hotel room and then comes out the next day with a couple suitcases. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't trust anybody anymore. Everyone is not to be trusted, which is scary. I want to trust people, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, just being a dad of a daughter who's going to date eventually, probably on apps.
Oh, yeah.
Freaks me the fuck out.
How old is she?
She's 7 now, but who knows what it's going to be like in 11 more years.
Oh.
And you're going to be on these apps with all these different guys and here and there, probably trying to meet Mr. Right. And I'm just going to be fucking...
Hopefully she's gay.
Shitting myself. Yeah,
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I do hope
if I have kids, I'll tell you right now, fucking gay all the way. I want gay kids. I want to be gay. I've tried. I would love nothing more.
What do you mean you've tried?
I've tried. I've been with several women. I go on the app sometimes for women. I'm like, I keep trying to be with a woman because I'm like, I can't. I go through these phases where I'm like, do I hate men? I'm like, I get so mad like after shit like that and like
but at
getting
your
ghosted.
Core, what do you feel?
At my core, I like men.
Only are you bisexual?
I guess I'm bi. I've eaten out 3 women. I'm assuming. I guess I'm bi. Well, I mean, I like, look, here's what I always say, and I'm like, this is so offensive, but I'm like, I want to get a shirt made that says, I've eaten out more pussy than all the bi women in Los Angeles. Every fucking comic is bi now. I'm like, bitch, prove it. Prove it. Eat me out. Prove it. Yeah. Come right here. Like, I don't identify. I mean, I guess I am bi, but I don't like say I'm bi on stage or like say I'm bi to like get work. Clearly, I'm like up there jerking off men every set I have. But you know, I think I think for me with women, it's certain women. It's not like all guys I see, I'm like a pervert. I'm like checking every guy out. But like some women, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What
like,
gets you for the ladies?
I don't know. It's a mix.
It's just a thing.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
like
see,
a really,
you know when you see it.
Yeah, the first time it ever happened to me, I was in Amsterdam when I was 24 because I really wanted to move there. There was I don't know why I have a giant windmill tattoo on my back. So I was like, I went there.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, I'm like obsessed with Amsterdam.
How big of a windmill tattoo?
Like this big.
That's a pretty big windmill.
It's way too big. It's absurd to be honest. It's way too much. If I was further along in my diet program, I would show you right now.
Cheese grater to that.
No, it's a lot. But I met this girl. I remember on a bridge when I was with Steve actually at the time, and my 2 other friends. We were like walking across this bridge, and this beautiful blonde woman stopped. I was like saying something. She goes, "Your voice," and I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Oh, I love the sound of your voice." And I was like, and I remember like that's the first time ever I was like, and I was like, oh, I like girls. Like that was like the first ever little like spark I had. But it's only specific women.
What was it like for you the first time you went out with a woman?
It was right after I broke up with Steve, actually.
Okay.
Because Steve was like, you know, one guy. I was like, whatever. So right after I broke up with Steve, most of my friends are gay. So we were out in Toronto dancing, and they look over like, oh, I wonder how Steph's handling the breakup. And there's me and this girl like just fucking hardcore making out. Like, oh, I guess she's doing okay. Yeah. She seems to be doing fine. And then we dated for like 3 months, but I was not.
What's the difference? Is it, do you feel safer?
Yes, and it's definitely safer, and it was just definitely more sensual.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ever kissed a woman, ladies, you should. It's very like just, some guys, too many guys can't kiss. I wish I could do like a class. Or like, it's just disgusting. What are you doing? It's repulsive. And then some tongues are so hot when they go in there. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing before this, but there's a lot of like, it's gross. There's a lot of
before that.
older men too. Because I dip around. I don't have an age group.
What's the oldest, the gap, the largest?
I'm no Crystalia. I do. I'm 27. I went on dates 27. I'm too young. And I'm 37. 27,
what
too young.
What about the other way I'm saying?
Other way, I've gone up to 65.
No. Have you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't date. We went on a few dates. Yeah,
I didn't think you dated 65.
No, it didn't work. didn't work.
It?
Well, it didn't work.
It didn't work at all.
No, I needed a pill, and he was denying it. I'm like, just take the pill. I don't care if you take the pill. I'd like you to take the pill.
How old were you when you dated a 65-year-old?
That was a couple years ago.
That motherfucking watch tells all.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So outside of it didn't work. Did you have a good time on those dates? Did you?
Yeah. No, I liked him.
Did you really were you able to talk to him, connect with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think I don't have any age restriction except that I check IDs and that I don't hang around high schools.
I'm with you on that. You know what? I don't care anymore either. I'm not. I mean, that's way too young.
No.
But if you're just be nice.
I just want
be
a
nice
nice
to me. That's it.
man.
I don't care if you're 27. I don't care if you're 67. Just be fucking nice to me.
I want a nice man whose penis works. That's all I want.
Fair enough.
That's
I don't
all
need
I'm
the
asking
penis.
for.
I got
You're
the
nice.
working
Here's my
penis.
top 3. You're tall, you're nice, and you're funny.
What's tall?
And you
for
find me funny. That's the key. I need you to, because if you don't find me funny, that's a turn on for me. When guys
if you
are
don't
like,
find your partner funny, forget about comic.
No.
In general, your partner's got to make you laugh and have a
funny
good
in person,
time with.
and
Yeah,
yes, and funny on stage. I'm like, I want a guy to come see me and like die laughing.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a lot up there. I'm well aware of what I'm putting out. It's not a turn on for most men. Tall for me, I like over 6 feet. Mostly because I'm a larger gal and I don't like feeling every guy I end up being with, I'm the same size or larger. I'm like, I don't like.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Okay.
But I'm wide. So I'm like, I don't want to be, I hate.
Get your dad's back, girl.
I don't want to be fucking, I'm always the big spoon. Like it was a joke at first. I'm like, I'm always the big spoon. I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want to be the one latching onto you. It's like, no, you latch onto me. I want like a big, strong man. It's hard to find out here, apparently. Los Angeles doesn't exist. Any other city, yeah, sure, great. Go to any other city in the goddamn country and find a big, strong man. But here, no. I know everyone's poly and everyone's flopping around everywhere. It's too much.
It's wild out here.
It's too much. It's a free-for-all.
It is a free.
Every time I match with a guy, they're like, I have 6 wives. I can't do this. Everyone's got, I'm also paranoid of STDs. I don't want to have like, I can't be going to the clinic every day and get tested. Who are you slopping with? Who are they slopping with? It's too much of a slop.
49 years and no STDs.
Never got one.
No, thank God.
Shit.
Never did. But
You
I'm knocking on wood.
lucky bastard.
I mean, they're out there everywhere.
They're out there. Yeah.
Steph, this has seriously been a great episode.
Good.
And I know a lot of this was not easy to talk about. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to ask you, after everything we've talked about now, this is your first time here, so advice you would give to 16-year-old Steph.
The biggest thing I think I'd say, and I think a lot of women can agree with me, I wish I could go back and tell myself that I wasn't fat.
That would have made a difference, huh?
I think it would have. I was so hard on my body when I was young, growing up, and I was fit as hell. I was a dancer, but I compared myself to my other friends who were very skinny, like generally, and I made myself sick. I went on crazy diets. I tried to be bulimic in high school. I was like really fucked over my appearance, and I just wish I can go back now and be like, God damn it, fucking who cares? You're growing, you're changing daily. Like, fucking stop. Get a grip, really.
Good for you. No, I don't think anyone's ever said that.
Yeah.
Thank you again, and please promote everything one more time.
Listen to Steph Infection, listen to Slobs, add me on Instagram at Steph Tolev. If you're in Toronto, come see me open for Bill Burr the 23rd, 24th of August, 25th Comedy Bar in Toronto, and then I have other dates on my website.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As always, RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all social media. We will talk to y'all next week.